Hey guys, do you miss me? In this video, we will discuss some of the supposedly upcoming BL series that are now said to be cancelled. If I missed out some titles on this list, feel free to share it on the comment section. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's begin our list with Akina the series. I actually didn't know that Akina was already cancelled, since I thought it was going to push through after the release of its teaser last year. The original series, Top Form, was a massive hit that catapulted the main actors to stardom. But amidst all of that, the legal issues between the international companies behind the series were so big that they brought everything down, including the supposed spin-off. Aside from that, Boom had to be cast with someone else because he prioritized his mental health, hence the change in the cast and the title of the series. Anyway, it's quite regrettable since Smart and Boom were already at the peak of their popularity, but the lawsuits and disagreements halted the momentum of their careers. Still, what's more important is them focusing on their mental health over anything else. Another BL series that was cancelled, Replay. I am honestly still in shock over how fast XylonAkauMSTS pulled the plug on the highly anticipated BL series Replay. The show had such a massive star-studded ensemble cast featuring Tae-Nyu, Pond Pyu-win, and Joss Garwin, making it one of the biggest announcements for the upcoming lineup. However, everything completely unraveled when the fandom swiftly exposed the dark reality behind the source material written by the author Shunara. It turns out the books weren't an original work at all, but rather a collection of fanfictions originally published on Joylada based on the real-life Chinese actors Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. The massive controversy erupted because the author blatantly violated the platform's strict rules by putting this fanfiction behind a paywall and making millions of baht off the artist's likenesses. To make matters worse, she then just changed the characters' names and repackaged the stories as an original novel to sell the adaptation rights to XylonAkauMSTS. This systematic commercial abuse of real people's identities without permission naturally caused an absolute uproar, especially within the highly protective Chinese fandom. Given how disastrous the international backlash could have been, international fans and local viewers fiercely warned the network about the ethical and legal nightmare they were walking into. Recognizing the massive risk to their company's reputation and their own artists, XylonAkauMSTS listened to the feedback and officially terminated the production before filming could even start. It's a huge shame we won't get to see this incredible cast together, but cancelling the project was absolutely the right move to stop a greedy author from profiting off of stolen identities. The next BL series on the chopping board, Heart by Heart. I'm still incredibly frustrated over how Heart by Heart the series completely vanished off the face of the earth after showing so much initial promise. When the pilot trailer first dropped back in 2022, the unique medical concept of heart transplants and cellular memory had so many BL fans genuinely excited. Unfortunately, the entire project ran straight into a brick wall because the production company suffered severe ongoing financial difficulties. They kept pushing back the filming schedule over and over again, leaving both the cast and the waiting audience stuck in an endless state of limbo. Because of these constant delays and a total lack of budget, the production was eventually suspended indefinitely before they could even finish filming a fraction of it. Things officially fell apart when the main actors' contracts began expiring one after another with no actual progress being made on set. It's honestly painful to see a show with that much potential get killed off entirely by poor financial planning and corporate mismanagement behind the scenes. The studio essentially went completely radio silent, leaving the fandom with nothing but a couple of promotional teasers and a lot of unanswered questions. It's just a harsh reminder of how fragile these independent BL productions can be when they don't have stable funding to back up their ambitions. The fourth spot on our list, If There Is Tomorrow. I am honestly so heartbroken over the fact that we are never getting a full series for If There Is Tomorrow. When that vampire-themed pilot trailer starring Jae and Fui first popped up online, the entire fandom went wild because their chemistry is always top tier. Everyone automatically assumed it was a newly announced show, but the actual backstory behind the project is a bit of a reality check. It turns out If There Is Tomorrow wasn't a standard television production that got dramatically cancelled midway through filming. Instead, the teaser was originally created as a pitch for the 2024 Content Lab project, which is a Thai government incubation program designed to fund creative concept pilots. The team successfully made it into the final 10 of the competition, which granted them a small budget to shoot that specific pilot to pitch to international investors at the Asia TV Forum and Market. Unfortunately, despite the massive internet hype from fans who were desperate to see a J-Fui vampire romance, a major production house or network never stepped forward to pick it up. Because it never secured a permanent studio or a full broadcast budget, the project essentially stalled out at the presentation phase. It is incredibly frustrating because the dark emotional storyline had so much potential to be a massive unique hit in the BL community. In the end, it wasn't a messy corporate scandal that killed the show, but simply the harsh reality of an independent pitch failing to get the financial backing it needed to become a reality. A heartbreaking news on this list, the cancellation of The Only One Season 2. I'm a big fan of the Taiwanese BL series The Only One and have always been vocal about how good a show is, but the finale left us with a big question mark about whether there was supposed to be a second season of the series or if that was all they could offer. Apparently, the director of the show stated that whether the second season becomes a reality depends entirely on the company that holds the rights to produce it. It wasn't entirely a cancellation announcement, but since it's been 2 years since the first season ended and there have been no reports about a continuation, it's safe to assume that it has been shelved, probably due to financial constraints. Last but definitely not least, Red Peafowl. I'm still so bummed about Red Peafowl getting cancelled, but looking back at the facts, it's clear the project was plagued with issues from the start. First off, that massive high-budget trailer we all saw was just a pilot trailer filmed solely to attract sponsors, meaning not a single actual episode had ever been shot. The production team loaded the supporting cast with huge BL names like Boone, Max, and Earth, but then cast relatively unknown actors for the main leads. This massive imbalance immediately triggered a lot of fan backlash because the supporting stars completely overshadowed the main couple. Things completely fell apart when the main lead actor suddenly announced his exit from the show in early 2024. He didn't just leave quietly either. He openly called out the production on social media and even labeled the project a scam. Even before that drama, actor Mek Jirakit had revealed in a late 2023 podcast that the screenplays were still being written, proving how heavily delayed they were. It also didn't help that fans who read the original novel by Ju-on criticized it for being flat and shallow, making a script rescue even harder. Between the severe script problems, casting drama, and losing their main star, the production company just went completely silent. Ultimately, without secured long-term sponsorship or a finished script, Red Peafowl quietly bled out in production hell and was officially shelved. And those are the 6 BL series that are reportedly cancelled. If given the chance, which of these would you still love to see the light of day? Thank you for watching. That's it and see you on the next one.